Hello and welcome back. Yesterday was Mother's Day, and I hope you all went out and celebrated your mom and told her how much you love her, because you know what? We really need to appreciate mom. And remember, not just one day a year, but every day of the year, because mom does so much for each and every one of us. And one of the things that mom wants us to do as she helps us grow, whether we're a little kid all the way up to our adult years, is mom hopes that we learn from her and learn her values and learn her lessons, so when we get older we can think for ourselves and use our brains. You know, during this crisis that we're going on right now with the COVID-19, there's been a lot of information out there, a lot of different things going on. And people are trying to sway people in different directions. But you know what God said? God gave us our brain. He wants us to be able to make decisions. I want to read you about a decision that could have changed the entire world. On September 26, 1983, Russia's OKO nuclear warning system detected a nuclear attack in the United States. Though the commanding officer, Stanislav Petrov, believed it was a false alarm and chose not to fire back, though he is under tremendous pressure from those above him and his superiors to push the button and launch a retaliatory strike. It ended up being the warnings were a false alarm, and Petrov was right, and he prevented a full-scale nuclear war. You know, he could just assume that what's on that screen was what it was, but he had the sense to say, let's look at this before we destroy the entire world with the push of one little button. If that would have happened in 1983, you and I would never have met. The internet would never have been born. None of the stuff that we do today would be around, all because Stanislav Petrov, a guy no one's ever heard of probably, chose to ignore the warning signs and use his brain and think there's got to be something wrong right here. And he kept things from getting worse than they could have been. I mean, the disaster that could have happened. You know, mom wants us to use our brains and make great choices so we don't get into disasters. You know, when we do not use our brains, we don't think about things, we make decisions that we can regret for a long time to come. You know, God says this in Deuteronomy 30:19, I call heaven and earth as witness today against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendants may live. God says you have the choice. You know, you can be blessed or you can be cursed. And a lot of it comes down to how we make decisions. You know, sometimes we'll make a decision in a hurry. It's a bad thing. You know what happens though when we do that? You know, yeah, we will make mistakes. We will make bad decisions. We are humans, and it's okay because you are a human being. But here's the deal, when we make a mistake, we need to then ask for forgiveness and go to God and say, I'm sorry for that, and God will forgive us. And that's what makes the difference between a blessing and a cursing. You know, when we make a mistake, will we use our brain and say, hey, let's fix that right now? And then what? Learn from that to think, let's be a little patient next time. Let's not be in such a hurry to do things. You know, he also says in Proverbs 23:7, for as a man thinks, so is he. You know, we're known by our decisions. And not only by our decisions, but how we react to the decisions. And can we actually say, okay, I made a bad decision, and use these couple words. I was wrong. I apologize. Let me think on this some more. Let me try again. It was my fault. You know, we don't want to do that now. We want to get all this information and make a decision and just go for it. And you know what leads to? It leads to panic, fear, and then we hurt one another. And sometimes we can hurt one another where the relationship is beyond repair. You never want to get to that point. The great news is that with Jesus, your relationship is never beyond repair. Jesus says, I will always forgive and I will help you get back to where you need to be. And we need to learn that. And it starts with us using our brains and making good choices. One last illustration today about making a bad choice. As the French royal family attempted to flee the country during the French Revolution, they were initially slated to leave in a small carriage very quickly that was very fast. However, Marie Antoinette, she did not like that carriage, and she wanted a fancier, bigger carriage that happened to be very slow. Long story short, they waited for the carriage. It gave time for people to catch up to them. And then the carriage wasn't fast enough to get away from everybody else, and they were captured. And if you know the story of Marie Antoinette, it was off with her head. You know what? Decision was made without thinking and using your brain what was best for that situation. Jesus says, I will help you. If you lack wisdom, ask of me and I give generously to you. James chapter 1 verse 5. So mom loves you very much. We honored mom yesterday, and mom hopes that you've learned her values, and if you learned anything at all, to to use your brain to make good decisions so you can have a great and wonderful and prosperous life. I hope that you will do that today. And remember, Mom loves you, I love you, and most of all, Jesus loves you, I love you, and you are awesome.